Hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to a new edition of the EKN OutLap. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole, kicking off our coverage of this coming weekend Superkarts USA Winter Series closer at Speedsportz Racing Park in New Caney, Texas. Rounds 3 and 4 of the championship, of course, on the docket for this weekend. It is episode number 103 of the EKN OutLap, February the 10th, 2026. Today's show presented by Kart CRG USA. CRG is one of the most iconic brands in karting, and we're primed and ready with new material and a never-ending focus on winning. Kart CRG USA is the North American distributor for all CRG products. Based outside of Houston, Texas, Kart CRG USA supports dealers across the continent, reaching every corner of North America. Check out the new CRG KT5 for tag and shifter racing, the Black Mirror for cadet competition, and the FS4 for Briggs. Longtime CRG drivers will be happy to know that the CRG Road Rebel, the standard in quality and performance, is still available. For more information on the CRG product line, head to kartcrgusa.com, and to inquire about a North American dealer near you, please email us at info@kartcrg.com. All right, David Cole, back down to Speedsportz Racing Park for your third time here in 2026. This coming weekend, February 13th to 15th, Superkarts USA will cap off the Winter Series for 2026.
Yeah, cap it off with 500 weekend, right? Daytona 500 weekend.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Last few years, it's been Super Bowl weekend, and so watched the Super Bowl happen this weekend. Obviously, congrats to you and your Seahawks.
Yeah, go Seahawks. The 12s, baby. What a great. You know what? For all intents and purposes, a kind of a boring game. I would like to have had us at least hammer into the end zone at least once. But Jason Myers banging a bunch of field goals. I'm okay with that. It was a big Super Bowl win for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you win the Super Bowl, it's big. It just doesn't mean it's good for the rest of us who didn't have a team in there. So
a win's a
win.
I
did win a square, so I almost broke even on the day. So yeah.
Anyways, so Winter Series. Yeah, normally you and I at the end of a Winter Series weekend Sunday are trying to find a place somewhere to watch the Super Bowl, have a burger and a beer. But this year obviously a Indy 500 or rather a Daytona 500 weekend. Looking forward to that as well. But listen, the cool thing is, again, like I said, you've been to Speedsportz twice already for the opening round of the Winter Series. You were there for the RMC Winter Trophy as well. The back end of that doubleheaders, the 2 weekends. You're going to finally get some weather, some Texas warm weather finally.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad during the SCUSA weekend. Obviously, the Rotax weekend, the entire country was frozen.
Yeah.
So we did experience cold temperatures, but thankfully no rain that weekend. We did have a little bit of rain during the SCUSA weekend, but it went away for Saturday and Sunday. So that was nice. So it wasn't terrible weather. And again, I'd much rather have 30-degree weather and sunshine rather than rain. So all in all, I didn't mind the weekend. Yeah, you had to bundle up and keep warm, but definitely better than trying to stay dry. So this is more Florida weather or I guess maybe Arizona weather or maybe normal Texas weather, as we'll actually get into 80 degrees on Friday. Only a 24% chance of rain, but Saturday is when it's supposed to hit. 78% chance of rain, high of 74. So that's going to be the miserable day if it does indeed rain. And then down to only 70 degrees as a high on Sunday, but only a 13% chance of rain. So if it does rain, hopefully it's only for one day.
Exactly right. Let's have a sunny Sunday so you guys can cap off the Winter Series in style. Obviously, we don't really need to go too deep into the facility itself, as we always do, of course, here in these preview OutLap podcasts, kind of talk about the track, the event schedule. But there's been so many races at Speedsportz Racing Park. It's not like we're introducing the place anymore. 0.8 of a mile, as people know, run primarily in the clockwise direction. Track's been open for 10 years now, to be honest. It's been around for quite a while. Designed, of course, by the iconic Alan Rudolph. 15 corners, David. But the first visit this year for the SCUSA Winter Series, which has really been obviously a Florida-based program since it launched back in 2018.
Yeah, and this is only the second year that the same layout will be utilized because, as we know, back at the AMR Homestead Miami Motorplex, it was one layout one weekend and then the other layout the other weekend. where Orlando last year, we were on the same layout. And then this year at Speedsportz, we're going to be on the same layout as well. So drivers getting many, many, many laps on the same layouts, especially those who did both SCUSA weekend and the 2 Road Tax weekends as well.
David, give us a rundown of the event schedule. I know that Wednesday and Thursday unofficial practice run by the racetrack, but officially SCUSA kicks things off, taking control of the facility on Friday morning.
Yeah, Friday practice, 5 rounds, 4 7-minute sessions. The 4th round is actually a 12-minute session. That's the longer session to give everybody the opportunity to get a long session in on the day. And then the 7-minute happy hour session to wrap up the day on Friday. Then we'll run into round 3, which will be warm-up, qualifying, pre-final, and finals. We'll have 10-lap pre-finals, 8 for cadets. And then the finals will be 20 laps, 18 for cadet categories. And then we'll repeat that on Sunday to complete round 4. And again, this is a best 3 out of 4 championship format. So aside from 2 categories, we've had 2 different winners across the board. So I don't necessarily see championships getting wrapped up on Saturday for majority of the categories. But again, anything can happen.
All right, folks, we are underway with episode 103 of the EKN OutLap, kicking off our EKN Trackside coverage of this coming weekend's closing event for the Superkarts USA Winter Series. When we get back after this break, we'll have a look at by the numbers. We'll let you know which categories have which numbers in terms of pre-entries. Check out any major national karting event, and what's the common thread? Speed Concepts Racing. Up front, in every class, every weekend. The Speed family has been at the forefront of American karting for over 25 years, and Speed Concepts Racing is the sole dedication of Father Mike Speed and his multi-time championship-winning son Alex Speed. This program is all about passion for the sport and a dedication to winning. They know how to get it done. If you're a senior driver ready to put yourself amongst the best in the country, Speed Concepts Racing is the program for you. We can win the big races. You just need to be in the seat. The Speeds program has delivered time over time in the junior classes as well, helping to elevate a long list of young drivers from mid-pack to potential race winners. Speed Concepts Racing has the perfect equation of coaching, driver development, and technical knowledge to elevate your program. Arrive and drive opportunities are available for the remainder of the 2023 season, and we're locking in seats for 2024 as well. If you're ready to take your career to the next level, contact Speed Concepts Racing through email at speedconceptsracing@gmail.com. Motor mounts. They keep your engine attached to your chassis, right? The answer is they're much more important than that. Your motor mount is critical in transferring 100% of the power from your engine through to your tires and the racetrack. You need this to get on the podium each and every time you race. Odenthal Racing Products is here for you, providing the best motor mounts on the karting market today, all designed to make sure you're using all the horsepower you pay for. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience in providing products with unmatched quality and value for our racing community. The Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines, which is available in 0, 5, and 8-degree inclinations, provides a rigid structure to help keep vibration to a minimum without adding too much weight to your setup. The 4-cycle Easy Set system is one of the most popular mounts for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Multiple mounting holes provide the most adjustability depending on your chassis and seat placement. To ensure a tight fit to your chassis, our ORP wedge clamps get the job done, and they feature a number of design updates to provide a lower profile and lighter weight. The clamps are available from 28mm to 32mm in both standard and Euro style sizes. And now, Odenthal has also revolutionized the karting industry with its new Easy GP camera mounting system. Designed to mount anywhere on your chassis with 1 or 2 cameras, the ORP Easy GP camera mount is your solution to capture that onboard winning moment. Head to odenthalracing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, proudly made in the USA. Back at it here with episode number 103 of the EKN OutLap. Welcome to the EKN Radio Network. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. Our segment here, as we preview this coming weekend's SCUSA Winter Series finale into the by the numbers segment. In the opening weekend, 231 entries took to the racetrack. David, pre-entries right now at 221, so a slight drop off. Even some walk-ups would get it close to the 231. So a lot of drivers committed to both weekends here of the Winter Series.
Yeah, typically that's what you expect, kind of to see the same number of drivers competing both weekends, especially with the events at the same racetrack. Not quite the numbers we had in Orlando last year, but still over the 200 mark. So again, we're still averaging over 20 karts per field, per category. So that's again the kind of the benchmark that you want to see. KA 100 Senior taking over as the top category with 42. I think they had an influx of new drivers that are going to be in that race this weekend. So taking the reins from KA 100 Junior, which is only down to 35. So still big fields for those two categories, which we have seen over the last number of years.
Yeah, that's almost a 20% increase for KA 100 Senior, 36 up to 42. That's going to be a great field in the KA 100 Senior category. Another class going up as well was Micro Swift, 10% there. They'll add 3 drivers, almost up to the 30 mark for drivers in Micro, 29 in both of the categories. So call it 58 cadet drivers on the racetrack this coming weekend, which is awesome. 32 in X30 Junior, so a solid field there. 35, as David mentioned, in the junior category for KA, 42 for seniors. A drop from 19 to 13 in KA 100 Master. Dave, I haven't had a really deep look at the actual entry list for the Master category. Any specific drivers, or do you have that kind of lined up for the class-by-class preview?
Nothing that I really noticed.
Okay.
There was one that's not on the entry list. Will probably be at track entry.
Yeah.
So yeah, just not. Again, drop off. Drivers just did the opening round, or could be entering trackside.
That's true.
Again, it's just we just got the entry list 10 minutes ago. So
yeah, exactly right. 26 drivers in Pro X30 down from 30, and 15 drivers once again in Pro Shifter, as those drivers looking forward to the start of the Superkarts USA Pro Tour, heading back out to Tucson for the Winter Nationals. Looking forward to that one for sure. It's been a while since we've been out at Tucson. All right, so there you go, folks. 221 entries, pre-entries, as David said. In Texas, you never know. Same for Florida. Walk-up entries, sometimes 10 to 15. You never know. Sometimes 2 or 3. So could get back to the 230 mark, but 221 pre-entries heading in. Another break. When we come back, we'll dive into class-by-class previews, Pro X30 and Pro Shifter. We'll go Pro Show up next. A new way to compete in fast, reliable, and affordable racing is taking over the globe. The Tillotson Racing T4 concept is building momentum around the world, and it's expanding in the United States under the T4 Series USA operation. The T4 Series kart package is a spec class program featuring the spec Tillotson chassis, Tillotson engine, and spec Maxxis T4 tires that move the emphasis away from budget and onto driver. The T4 Series USA is working with kart tracks across the country, including the home-based T4 Kartplex, Orlando Kart Center, Music City Kartplex, and Lorain, Ohio Kartplex. The Texas Sprint Racing Series has signed on to offer the T4 Senior category this season, along with the T4 SoCal program that's already established. The T4 Series Eastern Cup is a 3-race program traveling to Tennessee, Ohio, and Florida this year, while the Florida Karting League Championship is set to host T4 categories in 2026. The new T4 America's Cup is a cooperation with T4 Series Mexico, and the program will feature a 2-race championship format for Tillotson Racing. Throughout the season, Tillotson racers will be competing for a ticket to compete at the coveted T4 Nations Cup, which is set for September 30th to October 4th at the Cartodromo Internacional Lucas Guerrero in Valencia, Spain. To learn more, head to T4SeriesUSA.com. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the United States, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. 8 brands under the OTK USA banner are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour, the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, the United States Pro Kart Series, and even more programs throughout the country. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, EOS, and Red Speed have been joined by the Gallard, LN Racing Kart, and CS55 brands. To learn more about a specific product line or to find the OTK USA dealer near you, visit otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. OTK, the gold standard of karting. Welcome back to the EKN OutLap, our preview of this coming weekend Superkarts USA Winter Series at Speedsportz Racing Park. As David said, warmer temperatures, a little bit of threat for rain, primarily on Saturday. But let's have a look, go class by class, because, of course, championships up for grabs here, as we know. Pro X30 presented by Kart CRG USA. 26 entries, as we have discussed. David had mentioned a lot of the categories with two winners on the season so far in that opening weekend. Oliver Hodgson, David, and Paulie Massimino coming away with victories. In the championship, though, Massimino not in the top five. Hodgson leads the points over Gus Lawrence, 50 markers ahead for the factory kart driver, Oliver Hodgson.
Yeah, DNF for Massimino in the opening round main event. So that puts him sixth in the championship, back by 151 points. But that could be his drop. Again, he could come off, rip off either two more wins or two more podiums and be right in the hunt, depending on what Oliver Hodgson and Gus Lawrence will be doing over the course of the next two rounds. And again, you got Nash right there as well. And then Vanchev, we know he's fast. I think it's a racecraft. He's shown he's had it, but not quite able to be there in the end for both main events, finishing fourth and fifth in the opening two rounds. So could be an improvement for him. So he could be, again, in the championship hunt when we get down to the final action on Sunday. So lots to review over every session when we get to Speedsportz.
Yeah, again, you look at the top five guys, they're thinking championship to a certain extent, but there's lots of young guns that have moved up from the junior to the pro category. I always love seeing that. And there's veterans like Donovan Bonilla and Finnegan Bailiff. You know that you're going to see them. Blake Nash, Diego Ramos are going to be in the middle of the fight as well. David, some new entries potentially you want to talk about?
New entries from last round. Keegan Kaminsky, for the GFC driver for Formula Works, will be in Texas, along with Davis Henry, a senior rookie, making the jump up to the Pro X30 category with Host Driver Development. He's actually going to be double duty, running both X30 and KA.
Eric Doan as well, PSL Karting Barrel Arc driver. I expect Doan to be in the middle of the fight. James Overbeck, as we know, has been one of the top national, both KA and Pro X30 drivers last couple of years. Davin Roberts will be one to watch. Of course, you've got Max Weiland and Jesus Vasquez Jr. as well. Just a lot of good storylines in this one, David, with 26 drivers set to go for the big money up top.
Yeah, another name to note, Jacob Kolar making his SCUSA Winter Series 2026 debut. He will be actually on the new full-size Bennett kart that is under the Team Bennett kart. So Chase Gassiet-Lee debuted it last month in the KA senior category. Kolar moving the new chassis into the Pro X30 division. Yeah,
worth putting a spotlight on, right? Let's have a look at the guys at Bennett coming out with that new full-size chassis. So definitely something to watch as we get rolling here for the Saturday and Sunday main events, rounds 3 and 4 of the Winter Series. Let's go to Pro Shifter right now, brought to you by PSL Karting. 15 entries in total. The winners, Jay Irwin and Gavin Bailiff. Irwin takes the point lead by 40 coming into the weekend. As we all know, drops could be from that last weekend, so no need to really get too hung up on the championship standings, although Irwin does have a 40-point lead over Bailiff. Cooper Becklin back by 150, Justin White by 154, and Billy Musgrave by 155. Musgrave rolling in, having scored a championship in the DD2 category of the RMC Winter Trophy. So he's got some victorious time on the racetrack over the last couple of weekends, David. But I expect all 5 of those drivers to be in the discussion come this weekend.
Yeah, 3 wins in total during the Road Tax weekend in the new DD2 chassis for Factory Karts. And he had a DNF in round 1. Justin White had a DNF in round 2. They're 4th and 5th. So they're already going in with a drop in hand. So they're going to need 2 rounds of solid racing here this weekend to be able to go up against Irwin and Bailiff, who both have wins already and are kind of leading the way there in the championship. Chase Beckland's going to have to get on the podium in order to be in contention at all to finish top 3 as well. So those are kind of the 5 drivers in the championship chase. But the story coming into the weekend is the SCUSA Winter Series debut for Matheus Morgado, the Brazilian driver, the former world champion with Velocity Racing, making his first SCUSA start of the year after winning the opening round of the Florida Winter Tour in the KZ category last month. Didn't race the Florida Winter Tour last weekend, so I think this is his 1 race per month kind of deal, right, where we typically expect to see for the shifter drivers at that level. So Morgado's definitely going to be a mix in this battle over the 2 rounds at Speedsportz.
One of the big guns we've saw in junior racing over the last number of years was Diego Ardiles. He's back in it again, David, with PSL karting. Good group to be in. Obviously, a lot of guys to bounce stuff off of in terms of speed. Jay Irwin, kind of the leader of that PSL karting camp now. So Diego Ardiles. So what do you expect out of Diego? You've watched him kind of dive into the shifter kart program, juniors up into shifters. Most guys don't do that. So I like that at Ardiles. What do you expect this weekend from the youngster?
Practice the starts. That's what he qualified second in round 2. Didn't have a good start. Put him in the back. Was able to work his way back up to, I think, 5th on in that round 2 action in the main event, but definitely has the opportunity to have speed. Just has to be a little bit more consistent. As we know, just takes time for some of these drivers to get acclimated to the 6 speed of the KZ power plants.
David, I recall a number of years ago when one of the top drivers in the sport now used to struggle with the starts for a while. He got that dialed in. Kyle Wick is who I'm talking about. He would struggle to get off the line, but was a monster once he got rolling. It's the same thing. It's at this level of competition. If let's say you're 70% good, you need to be 20. You need to be 100. If you're 70% against this level of competition, you're going backwards, right? So getting off the line is an art form, and you need it. You can waste a qualifying run by not being able to get off the line.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's just something he's working on trying to get better. Not very much track time. Again, only a few races in 2025, and now using these Winter Series programs to get going in 2026.
Just a quick comment before we go to the break. What a great start Q1 for the season for the Factory Kart crew. The American-made chassis out of Arizona. Musgrave's been rolling. They debuted the new DD2 chassis, as you had mentioned. He's looking good, obviously Pro Tour champion last year. And then Hodgson coming on board on the Factory Kart as well. He's winning races. He's winning. It's just, I just love seeing the American-made story. And to have success in Q1, I think they're going to have a really good season. They have a couple of course, top level of veteran drivers. We'll see how it plays out in terms of other drivers, maybe other shops, around the country getting on board with the Factory Kart program as well.
Yeah, that'll probably be something we'll talk a little bit with Factory Karts this weekend. Obviously, they've been busy, with the debut of the DD2 program the last month, and obviously just getting settled in with Oliver joining the team. That's been a good kind of combination between Musgrave and Hodgson. So very fun to kind of watch them away from the racetrack, kind of becoming best friends, I guess, you could say.
Well, the cool thing is if you want to get into an interesting program and you're going to learn from 2 of the absolute best, if you want to go shift the racing, you go with Factory Kart, you got Billy Musgrave. If you want to go single speed racing, you're with Oliver Hodgson. My God, like I got 2 of the best over the last decade. So just absolutely amazing. Off to another break. When we come back, we'll go KA100 Senior, X30 Junior, and KA100 Junior. Our preview podcast, the OutLap of this coming weekend's SCUSA Winter Series finale, will continue. There's a new hot button name in American safety equipment, Stilo USA. Every product with Stilo is focused on safety, comfort, and function. Stilo USA is happy to provide you with the proper safety apparel to keep you protected on the track and their karting lineup is second to none. New to the product lineup is the Stilo Carbon CMR karting helmet. Designed to revolutionize your karting experience, this carbon fiber crafted helmet is among the lightest on the market, without compromising on safety. The Stilo ST5 KRT karting helmet is manufactured using a lightweight and extremely strong composite material. The KRT provides an excellent fit and comfort level due to its dual density interior foam lining, and it's equipped with a symmetrical visor that offers excellent vision and an effortless central visor locking system. The Stilo ST5 CMR standard was developed jointly by the FIA Institute and Snell Memorial Foundation to ensure safer and lighter weight helmets for younger karters. Drivers rave about the superior comfort levels, lightweight construction, and the unparalleled field of vision that is perfect for the youth helmet line. Stilo didn't stop with their helmets either. The newly developed Carbon Curva rib protector is unlike any other on the market, with a form-fitting solution to offer superior protection. The Carbon Curva 8870 version is FIA homologated and includes a chest protector. Head to stilohelmets.com to review these products and many more to keep you safe on the track. Stilo, any competition, one helmet. Let decades of experience and success lead you to the top of the podium. Join Brandon Jarsacrack Racing as your race team at the sport's major events in the United States. Brandon Jarsacrack is a 4-time United States Pro Kart Series champion, along with a multi-time Superkarts USA Pro Tour and WKA Manufacturers Cup Series race winner. Jarsacrack is ranked among one of the best from his generation to get behind the wheel of a racing kart. BJR provides full race team service and support at all USPKS, SCUSA, and Stars Championship Series events, along with trackside programs at the Trackhouse Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. Partnering with Mike Doty Racing, Brandon's team of driver coaches and mechanics are passionate for the sport, providing decades of experience both on the track and working with many of today's karting standouts and current motorsport stars. Brandon Jarsacrack Racing offers a full range of services, including kart preparation, driver coaching, and race event support for both 2-cycle and 4-cycle competitors. BJR is an official LN Racing kart team with OTK USA and is an official offset sport race team. Contact them today to develop a program based around your needs. Head to BrandonJarsacrack.com to learn more. Back at it with the OutLap podcast, our preview of this coming weekend Superkarts USA Winter Series finale, rounds 3 and 4 at Speedsportz. Rob Howden alongside David Cole here. Dave, let's jump into the KA100 senior category, brought to you by Orsilon Racing. The biggest category on the weekend, 42 entries. Winners in the opening weekend, Sebastian Garzone and Colin Lloyd. Not surprising, those two drivers sit 6 points apart, with Lloyd leading the championship. Mateo Rubio Luengo 40 back, Cash Perkins and Donovan Vania right there as well. There are a number of new entries coming in for this one here, which I was excited about when I kind of scrolled down through the entry list. But those first 5 drivers had good success in the opening weekend, so there's nothing to think that they wouldn't be in the middle of the fight as well this weekend.
Yeah, it was a competitive weekend, that opening round for the SCUSA Winter Series. A lot of drivers kind of in the mix there, and these are kind of the 5 that kind of stood out and will be in the championship chase. I don't really see anybody else being able to close in. Benia's got a little bit of work to do with no podium finishes, but a couple, I believe, top 10 results, and Cash Perkins there just off the podium and 2 4th-place finishes. So he's finding both of them racing under the Speed Concepts Racing tent. Yep. So they're definitely got a little bit comfortable, and I think they could get a little bit better go moving forward and heading into this weekend.
So let's talk about some of the other drivers that are coming into play, and a lot of big guns. Let's be real. We're talking Caleb Gaffera, Aiden Rudolph, David Ybarra, Connor Ferris. And there's more drivers that I highlighted here as well. There's a lot of big guns that are coming out to, let's say, take the level of competition potentially up to another level.
Well, those 4 weren't at the opening weekend, or at least didn't compete. Aiden Rudolph was actually wrenching for a number of drivers under the CRG tent, but he's going to put the helmet back on and make his 2026 debut here in the U.S. I think he was at the SCUSA Mexico event a couple weekends ago, so he has had some seat time already in 2026. Ybarra, a junior rookie or senior rookie, making the move up from junior from last year. We know Gaffera has been with Holtz Driver Development, showed well. Supernats had some bad luck, however. So he's going to be making his 2026 debut along with Connor Ferris. It says Kart Republic, but I believe they were looking at doing Parolin under the Team Ferris Racing tent. So that'll be something to see if he's actually moved over to the Parolin brand or still staying with Kart Republic.
Finnegan Bailiff, always a driver in the front, front group there for sure. Alexander Vanchev, who again was the top junior driver in North America last year. Max Weiland's been up there as well, so throw him in the front. Dave, you mentioned Chase Gassey at Lee on that Bennett full-size kart. Well, this will be his second full weekend on it?
Yeah, was on it at the opening round and is back on it. I believe raced it at the Florida Winter Tour as well. So this should be his fourth weekend on the chassis. He was actually seventh in the championship behind senior rookie Matthew Cagle. Vanchev is actually doing double duty for the first time. Didn't race KA senior last time out and in January. So he's another new name to the KA senior field, which, as we said last month, was very competitive with a lot of dicing and a lot of action up front. So all those names we've mentioned just amps it up even more.
Yeah, we talk about perennial Texas frontrunner John Burke running with TB Karts, so that'll be one to watch. One of the kind of off-season interesting things that happened, of course, was Ryan Norberg stepping away from the driving to a certain extent. But starting his Norberg Karting Academy as one of the essentially I would call it works teams for GFC, Formula Works being one. Somebody's trying to call me right now. Let's turn that down. Love when that happens in the middle of a podcast.
I didn't hear it, but that's all right.
It was like blasting through my headset. So, Norberg obviously doing his deal in the West Coast Scuderia Littell. But Matthew Cagle will be with the Norberg Karting Academy this weekend. I'm actually working on an article about that we'll have hopefully before the end of the month. But yeah, Norberg, I like stepping into that new role after having been the number one single speed driver for so many years here, and watching that Norberg Karting Academy program grow, I think it's something I love to see here.
Yeah, the guy was so busy last month, I didn't even have a chance to speak with him. He was doing this and doing that. I even saw him getting, drinks and water for the tent. So nice. He was definitely involved in anything, driver coaching, watching guys on track, wrenching, everything. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more time to speak with him this weekend.
I got one more, Dave, and I want you to kind of fill in a little bit. Derek Wargo had a really good kind of Christmas season, winning at Daytona, I think on the road course. Then he won, I believe, a CKNA race, the Winter Nationals. And then he's going to have a big season, Derek Wargo is, right? Things to be done for him overseas.
Yeah, it hasn't been. I mean, he posted it on his own social, but we're working on the article announcement announcing the drivers for the FIA Academy Trophy program. Derek Wargo will be the senior driver racing there, representing Team USA. The driver from Louisiana is into his first full season in the senior ranks. Did a little bit of senior racing last year, but this is his first full year in the senior ranks. All
right, we'll move now to X30 Junior and KA100 Junior. You're going to obviously hear some double duty back and forth, so we can talk a little bit about that. X30 Junior presented by Rawlison Performance Group. 32 drivers coming in. Winners from the opening round, Nathan Golseth and Travis Pettit. And again, very similar to the KA100 Senior. Those two drivers up front. Pettit leads the way coming in for Rawlison Performance Group. Golseth back by 60 points. Royce Vega by 86, Woon P4 Ashton Woon 124 back, and Tristan Murphy 168 back. David, give us your thoughts on X30 Junior.
It's interesting how we continue to see RPG and Speed Concepts Racing battling for the top spot in the championship chases for this category for sure. Golseth moving over to Speed Concepts Racing, had a good debut weekend with them, was up front all weekend long in both categories. Certainly has the opportunity here to battle for a championship in the X30 Junior category. I'm a little shocked at the performance by Woon. Not exactly what I would have thought to see him end up. He did end up on the podium in round one, but just off of it with a P4 finish in round two. But I would have thought he would have been kind of the dictator out there and deciding who's leading, who's doing what, but it was more Pettit and Golseth that were the drivers to beat last round.
Do you want to dive into the fact there's a couple of new entries that are coming in as well? Because one of the ones that I picked up was Josh Bergman, which I'd like to see, the Florida driver running for MPG Motorsports this weekend. But there's a bunch of new drivers coming in that maybe weren't here the last weekend.
Yeah, Bergman was part of the opening rounds last month and is sitting 10th in the championship. A new name, however, for the SCUSA Winter Series in the junior ranks, Maxwell Macha, a two-time Super Nationals winner, making the move up from the mini ranks to the junior division with Parolin USA. So he'll be making his junior SCUSA debut after racing at the Florida Winter Tour in the junior ranks there. De Janeiro, who was racing with Brandon Jarzakrak racing on a LN kart, is making the move back over to his Parolin machine that he did race at the Winter Road Tax, or the RMC Winter Trophy program. So he'll be on that same chassis that he raced there. So back familiar with the Parolin brand as he is into his first official junior season as well. So Macha and De Janeiro leading the way for Parolin Motorsport USA.
There you have it. It's interesting for me, the SCUSA Winter Series, when it first happened so many years ago, it was all about kind of being the off-season spring training. For a while, nothing happened in December, January, and February, even March, really, to be honest. Maybe late March kind of things got started. It's all about kind of, getting, for us at least, getting a chance to see which drivers we think we're going to be seeing and talking about and covering all year long. And Dave, there's a big, I'll just blast through a list of guys who are going to be up front all year. You look at Parker Ives, Nico Katowski, Tristan Murphy, Liam Nakawati, Asher Pavan, Marco Samet, Royce Vega, William Vitor, Braden Wagner, going down the alphabetical order here. These are the guys that we're going to be talking about all year. And that's one of the things I really love about these Winter Series races, and kind of seeing the drivers who have moved up from, mini to junior to senior. That's what this is all about. And those young drivers coming from mini up to junior, I love when they get up there and really start swinging. This is when they can kind of get their feet wet. So when the Pro Tour actually happens, maybe they've got some ground, maybe they've been able to dig in a bit and got a more feel for running in the junior kart.
Yeah, quite interesting. You talk about De Janeiro. He actually, I think in 2 of the 3 pre-finals that we had at the RMC Winter Trophy, he got spun around. So he got lots of track time passing people because he did work his way back up into the top 5, I think, in all 3 rounds. So lots of practice passing people in the full-size kart that he's, again, learning, getting more track time, because he went over to Rotax Grand Finals, raced in the mini category, and didn't race anything until last month at the SCUSA Winter Series. So it needs more track time. So that's, like you said, Rob, that's a key element to watching the development of some of these junior rookies making the jump up from the mini ranks.
And David, you nailed it. Yeah, sometimes it's bad in a pre-final when you get, dumped and you're at the back of the pack. But man, sometimes it's so good for driver development for a kid in his confidence to come from 30th and end up in the top 5 or even in the top 10. You know what I mean? To be able to pass that many karts coming forward when you have that kind of speed differential, I think it's great for driver development for sure, no doubt. All right, let's move in and cap off this segment with KA100 Junior presented by TKG Barrel Art USA. A solid entry of 35 for this coming weekend. Easton Cox and Tyrone Kemper Jr., the winners of the opening weekend main events. Kemper with the point lead by 22 over Nathan Golseth. Did not win either of the races, but his consistency puts him second. Travis Pettit right there. Top 3 drivers, David, separated by 37 points coming into the weekend.
Yeah, no different than the senior category. The junior category was just as tight. Again, 2 different winners. Again, consistency definitely helps you in the championship chase, as we have 4 drivers within 98 points. And then you got Tristan Murphy right there again in 5th. Again, a driver looking to get into the mix and just off the podium both rounds, and definitely will need to get on the podium in rounds 3 or 4 in order to be in the championship chase. But again, lots of different names that could be in contention for this one. Ironically, I think the Kemper win was a penalty call. I can't remember who won on track, but so the first one, Cox was able to get away from the field to be able to win that one. But I got to imagine both round 3 and 4 will be very, very, very competitive.
Dave, in the list of drivers, I've highlighted a bunch here. Were there drivers that maybe had trouble that we're not talking about in the top 5 that you expect to be up in the fight and that maybe weren't there last week?
Orbezo, that was the driver who won on the racetrack.
Nicholas Orbezo.
I think that's who it was.
Okay.
So, Orbezo won at Rotax, so that is a win. No, that was somebody else. That was Alex Chandler. See, I'm getting all these same team, different names. So that's where I'm getting.
We're throwing you to bit races, same racetrack. It's all going to blend together.
It does. It does kind of blend together. It smells different because obviously Rotax smells a little different with the oil, but they all look the same. Sound different, faster though.
Definitely sounds different.
Anyways,
what about Nico Katowski?
What about him?
Just what you've watched him. He's been running up front, like guys like Katowski, had Perriman, Santiago Orioli.
Katowski had a good Florida Winter Tour thus far. Just hasn't quite been able to translate that into good finishes at the SCUSA Winter Series yet. But he could be there. Like I said, Orbezo I think is going to be one of those that'll be up there. I'm pretty sure he was the driver of that one provisionally. But again, this one, like I said, there's going to be a number of different drivers, probably names that we aren't even going to mention that might sneak up into the top 5 throughout the weekend.
Yeah, I was kind of looking here. It's almost like a third of the field. You talk about the fact the move from Florida to Texas, right? What does that mean? There's 11 or 12 drivers from Texas in this KA100 Junior Series alone. Obviously, a huge win for Easton Cox and High Five Performance. The Texas-based team, the Texas driver, and it's cool to see. Moving to Texas has opened the SCUSA Winter Series up for different drivers. I would bet a number of those drivers from Texas probably wouldn't have been there if it was in Florida. So it's just a cool opportunity for the state of Texas, which is a hotbed for karting, no doubt about it. With the Texas Sprint Racing Series as well. The opportunity to see this many Texas drivers running in the program. I love it.
Yeah, I think there's a good hotbed of Texas drivers coming up in the younger categories from age 14 all the way down to kid karts. So it's a big state. Obviously, we've seen it in the past where Texas brought on a number of talented drivers throughout the year. So again, the ebbs and flows of the sport.
Yeah.
Different age groups that shine better than others, and I think numbers wise, I think we're at one of the highest we've seen in terms of competitors from the state of Texas at the national level.
Yeah, I love it. David, one more note you had here was Tanner Barsh for CRG.
Yeah, another Texas driver. He's making the jump up from the cadet ranks into the junior level. So this will be his junior debut this weekend with MSL Racing under the Kart CRG USA banner.
All right, folks, one more break. When we get back, let's continue and wrap up our OutLap preview podcast of this coming weekend SCUSA Winter Series finale, KA100 Master, Mini and Micro Swift after the break.
The karting championship that's taken Europe by storm and helped launch today's top open-wheel stars is now in the United States. Introducing Champions of the Future America. Champions of the Future America is a 9-round series that welcomes drivers across multiple classes, including Mini, KA100, and X30. Champions of the Future America tours 2 of the Southwest's premier karting facilities, K1 Circuit in Southern California and Spring Mountain Karting Complex in Nevada. Drivers will compete across 8 unique track layouts in pursuit of a prize pool valued at over $130,000. The ultimate reward? Our X30 Pro champion will win an all-expenses-paid trip to France for a 3-day Formula 4 training camp at the legendary Winfield Racing School at Circuit Paul Ricard. Learn more about Champions of the Future America. Register now at championskartingamerica.com. That's championskartingamerica.com.
Do you want to become a professional race car driver? Are you ready to take your first steps into car racing? If so, Allenberg Racing School is the ideal place for you to make that happen. And as a bonus, our school is located at everyone's bucket list track, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. From your first steps in a Formula car, all the way to racing in the USF Pro Championships and the USF Junior Series, it's all part of our program at Allenberg Racing Schools and our competition operation, Berg Racing. At Allenberg Racing Schools, you'll learn from a former Formula One driver and will be driving a full-on carbon fiber tub Tatis race car with aerodynamic wings and racing slicks. Not an old technology tube frame car. You'll get more track time per day than at any other school, and our 3-day and advanced programs will have you prepared to race competitively with our bird racing program, which participates in both the Ligier JFC Championship and the USF Junior Championship. To learn more, check us out online at allenbergracingschools.com. Be a racer.
Back out of here. Final segment of episode 103 of the EKN OutLap, kicking off our coverage for this coming weekend's Superkarts USA Winter Series finale at Speedsportz Racing Park. David Cole will be trackside Friday morning on. Looking forward to the coverage once again, as always. Let's cap things off with KA100 Master presented by IAME USA West. 13 entries in the Masters category. Brian Boldy dominating the action, winning both main events. I won't say dominated, but won both main events at the opening rounds. He leads the points over the veteran driver Trevor McAllister. Multi-time Texas state champion Miguel Mir in third spot. Carlos Calderon, a Supernats podium finisher, fourth in point. And another one of the top drivers in Masters over the last number of years, Mario Barrios in fifth. David, let's kind of dive in a little bit here for the lineup in KA100 Master.
Yeah, not sure on the Barrios situation, not on the entry list. We raced at the Florida Winter Tour last weekend, so we'll see if he's an at-track entry. But he was the driver that really put on the pressure to Beloy all weekend long. Round one was a DNF for a mechanical issue. A throttle cable, I believe, broke to where they battled down to the wire on Sunday with Brian taking the victory and winning two straight and nearly sweeping the weekend. Didn't get maximum points, but won both main events.
A couple of our buddies running there as well. Scott Falcone, David Pergandy, both on the list as well.
Yeah, finishing outside the top five. Falcone actually a fourth in round two. Got spun in round number one, was actually battling for a podium spot until he was spun around in that main event. So he's looking to make up ground and hopefully get on the podium to put himself back into the chase. But again, lots to kind of go, lots of racing still to happen.
Pergandy, good to see him, a perennial Texas driver. How was he in the opening rounds?
Had an issue in opening round of qualifying, so had to fight his way forward. Was right there in the second round. Good qualifying effort, good pre-final, and something happened in the main where he went backwards. So not exactly sure, but looking to bounce back this week.
Yeah, Brian Boley, of course, in the hot seat right now. Another victory for him will lock things down, so he'll be looking to try to cap off the championship on Saturday. Let's go to Mini Swift, presented by Parancino Chassis Jig. 29 entries in the Mini Swift category. Jake Manalio and Zev Godchak were the winners of the opening rounds back in January. Manalio leads the points, but it's 109 points over Brody Stoffel. Win Godchak in third, 128 back. Zev Godchak and Lorenzo Lopez rounding out the top five in the points. David, based on your notes and looking at the entry lists, no Godchaks coming in this weekend?
Yeah, they are international drivers, and a lot's happening over in Europe right now with the WSK program that basically is running every weekend now.
Right.
The WSK Euro Series launches this weekend, so both Zev and Win will be there. Win is coming off a victory at the second round of the WSK Supermaster Series that was held in, I think it was Sarno. I'm getting them all mixed up. But either way, he was one of two quote-unquote USA drivers, again, as he is from Curacao, but racing under the USA license. Also Zane Burgess, another driver for USA from Jamaica, won in the mini U10 category at the WSK right? Supermaster Series. So
super impressive.
Again, a lot of the younger drivers that we have seen do so well here in the US are focused on the international schedule for 2026, including the Godchaks, Burgess, and others, including Canadian Jaden Francisco, who was a top qualifier in the mini ranks as well.
Yeah, Lorenzo Lopez not on the entry list at this point either, based on what I'm looking at. But other guys we expect to be there: Mason Brody, Samuel Chavare's actually had some success over the last little while. Marcelo Flores, Aiden Go, Hudson Howard, David, for sure. He is really stepping up here and is jumping to mini. And I look for him to be a top five runner. What do you think? Is that you think he'll be there?
Yeah, he was a top 5 runner at the Road Tax event, along with Mason Brody, who was up there all weekend long on that RPM Nitro kart machine. So very impressive for both of them to pick up the jump up from micro to mini.
Dutch Westbrook, Lucas Tarango, and other names you've heard before if you've been listening to our podcast or any of the coverage as well. Connor Lipka, Nathan Ramirez, all these drivers coming up through their cadet category, running, of course, through the micro classes into mini. They know how to run up front. They've run up front. They've been on podiums. That's the expectation for all these young drivers as they continue to work up the ladder.
Yeah, and that's, the championship, like you said, Manalio and Stoffel going to be the drivers to kind of battle it out. And then we'll see the rest of the field kind of filling in and racing for race wins instead of championship points.
Let's cap things off with Micro Swift, brought to you by Bennett Kart. 29 entries. Jack Katowski was the dominant factor in the opening weekend of the SKUSA Winter Series. Won both of the main events, gives him an 80-point lead over Tristan Francisco coming in to these final 2 races, rounds 3 and 4. Dusty Strayer, 145 back. Max Santana, 155 back. And Shep Sullivan having a good run as well. He's P5 in the points, back by 226. He'll have to have a big weekend, but all 5 of those drivers, David, back for this weekend. Not like the mini category. All 5 of the drivers, the top 5 in micro, will be there racing.
Yeah, round 3 will be the critical point. If Katowski is able to pull off a sweep there, he'll lock in the championship and won't have to really do anything on Sunday, but enjoy opening up the year with a title already. Some other names to kind of watch that were impressive at the Road Tax race: Trey Sanders with Nash Motorsports, Wiley Lee moving over to Team Bennick, picking up a provisional win during one of the rounds there until a pushback jump start penalty took that win away. So those are some of the 2 drivers that look good. Franco Schiavo for Kart CRG USA looked good at Florida Winter Tour. So we'll see if he's able to kind of step it up coming over to Texas.
I love it. 12 drivers from Texas. Again, we talk about the fact how many great Texas drivers we have. 12 drivers closing in on half the field in the micro category. So awesome stuff. And again, Jack Katowski, as David said, in the driver's seat to potentially coming away with the championship. If he wins on Saturday, that will lock things down. David, final thoughts as we get ready to go in here. As you know, David will be there covering things. Watch for the reports after each day. Social media, we leverage, of course, X, Facebook and Instagram heavily with all the coverage that David does. Our hashtag EKN at SKUSA, hashtag SKUSA Winter Series will provide you with all the coverage. You blast that in, you'll see all the stuff that we do as we make sure to lean into the hashtags. But David, lots of obviously driver interviews, the scale videos, all the coverage that we do. I'm happy that you're going to get a warmer weekend because I know that you had to kind of battle through some cold ones. At least the last one's pretty chilly.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of rain, Rob. I really don't. I prefer cold over rain, but hopefully it'll pass through and won't be too bad. At least it'll be warm rain. That's always the better rain, not cold rain, warm rain.
Well, and dude, you'll be wearing the shorts at least one day.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Friday is shorts day for sure. We'll see about the rest of the weekend regarding that. Probably no in and out unless somebody drags me again on Friday. I was just going to say, this is probably your best Q1 in 20 years in terms of in and out. Yeah, I mean, challenge weekends, we typically get it every time. So January, February, but
right. You're talking, this is 3 already. You're going to have at least 5 trips to in and out in Q1.
And Q1, oh yeah, for sure. Right. Tucson, it's definitely been great for me. Enjoy it. Again, anybody looking to go Friday night, give me a holler, and maybe I'll actually drive out that way.
Hey, listen, one thing about it, we haven't mentioned yet, the cool, obviously Speedsportz Racing Park, such a fantastic facility, but the food court deal, I can't remember the actual name of the place, but that little food court deal right beside the racetrack and on the way back to the kind of the host hotel. What a great little place that is for food. So many different options in that kind of food park, right? The food court.
Yeah, great burger place.
Oh, God, it's so good.
The Food Zone is what it's called. Grand Texas Food Zone.
Yeah.
Lots of different ethnicities or food cultures cuisines that you could dive into. I prefer the burger. They do have margaritas. I had one last time there for SKUSA Winter Series.
You had a margarita?
I was desperate for something to drink. So Sometimes you branch out,
I don't know that I've ever seen you have a margarita in my life. That's hilarious.
It's been a few. A lot of times it's free. If it's free, I'll do it.
My problem going there to the food zone is that I have to go to two places because I start, I'm like, should I have this or should I have that?
Yeah, we didn't go during the road tax weekend. It's too cold to eat outside.
Yeah, I understand that.
This time, either Friday night or definitely Sunday night will make it easier.
All right, folks, that wraps up the EKN OutLap episode 103, kicking off our EKN Trackside coverage of this coming weekend's Superkarts USA Winter Series finale. David Cole will be trackside, of course, all weekend long. Coverage coming all over social media and on the website as well. Big thank you to Kart CRG USA for being the presenting sponsor of this edition of the OutLap podcast. Debrief coming next week. We'll do a deep dive in for the full race report on the weekend for sure. But again, looking forward to seeing how things roll out with the Superkarts USA Winter Series. Their pre-event program to kicking into the Superkarts USA Pro Tour, which starts off at the Winter Nationals in March in Tucson. But it is, again, Winter Series racing here this weekend. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We do appreciate it. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.